a cleaner. But guess where? Where did you start your cleaning career?
But my parents, actually, they had a dream. They gave me all their life savings and say, go to England. I started as a cleaner with my cousin, actually, a 16-year-old. What that taught me, actually, it taught me that studying in the library was the best thing, the most fun thing I could find around. And that actually turned to my golden ticket to Cambridge later. And I joined JP Morgan. The first day of my banking career was 15th of September back in 2008. Anyone knows what that day was.
What happened that day?
Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. I never really enjoyed anything I learned in Cambridge. However, the brand, I'm telling you, it really opened doors. And what I learned, actually, the most thing I learned is it wasn't the diploma. It was actually, there was curiosity.
Lesley Lee, she's coming from the banking world. She started her career with JP Morgan and then Barclays. Of course, she studied at Cambridge. Excuse me, can we give her a big hand? Cambridge. She's also a TEDx speaker, but now she is running one of the most fashionable, interesting, amazing, powerful fintech companies in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring Lesley Lee for a conversation with Global Woman. So, Lesley, how does it feel? You started your career the same way as I started. Who was in the room when I showed you what was my first job in this country? Yeah? Does anybody wants to volunteer to say what was that? So just cleaning. So I'm not the only one. So that's why I don't kind of see myself as a hero or shiro, because many women like me who travel mountains and oceans to come and start a new life in a new country, they have to leave whatever dream they had behind for a little bit, just for a little bit, and start from scratch. And this is where Lesley Lee started, a cleaner. But guess where? Where did you start your cleaning career?
Actually, I came to UK when I was 16. I barely spoke any English at the time. But my parents, actually, they had a dream. So they gave me all their life savings and say, go to England. You might have a life that you might not have in China. So I took their money. I actually was hiding the money in my belt, hopped on the plane. And the exchange rate at the time was 1 to 15, so £1 to 15 Chinese yuan. So at the time, I thought I was really calculating my runway at the time as a 16-year-old. I thought, okay, why don't I find a job? I spoke no English. That's okay. It's not going to stop me. So I actually got my first job at this very fancy insurance company in Brighton called, it's this colorful umbrella. Who knows what that is? Legal in General. There's another story half a year ago with Legal in General. I'll tell you later. I have 3 moments. I call it come back to the full circle moment. I'll come back later. So I started as a cleaner with my cousin, actually, a 16-year-old. What that taught me, actually, it taught me that studying in the library was the best thing, the most fun thing I could find around. And that actually turned to my golden ticket to Cambridge later because of my cleaning job.
From a cleaner, now we're going to Cambridge. And how did that happen? You learned English, or
I learned English.
It was not a success overnight, I guess.
I did my high school here, and high school, so every weekend I went to do cleaning. Actually, I was really surprised with the cleaning job. I could pay for my food, it's half of the rent, and then the rest of the time I was really happy. I had the time of my life just studying in the library.
That was amazing. So you came here with determination. But also, it's very interesting when you come here with a responsibility. Your parents gave you everything they had. But also you came here with a dream. You came here to make your trip worth. And you know what happens? I don't know if it is the same in China, but in Albania is like if you go to the UK or America, it's flowers. Lots of waiting for you. And also sometimes they're expecting to you go and support them. In fact, it's not like that. So I had to call my family back and say, no, it's not as you think it is, but I'm loving it. And I had this very same experience. And I shared earlier that the first 2 years in this country when I was looking for a job and I couldn't find anything, they were the happiest years of my life. And the reason why is because I could see that there is no limit. What can I do? What was your reason you were happy?
I think that what happened back then, my very, very early years, it was that, okay, I realized I could not go any further down. So anything is up for me. Anything.
See? Absolutely.
Anything was up for me.
Now, Lesley, did you meet these people that are around you? They have a job, they're working at the top, they have a family, they have a house, they have a car, they have money, they have everything, and they're looking miserable. And they are seeing you clinging around, they say, da, 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 da. And they're thinking, is she crazy? Why she's so happy? And these people who you look, they have everything. They are feeling depressed. Have you experienced that? And what is, in fact, happiness for you?
I experienced that all the time. And then later on, so I took a little step back. So yes, I made it to Cambridge, and then I got an offer from JP Morgan. I thought, oh my God, I'm the master of the world. It was a high time of my life. And I joined JP Morgan. The first day of my banking career was 15th of September back in 2008. Anyone knows what that day was.
So what happened that day?
What happened that day?
Crash.
Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. I joined the credit trading as a graduate on the trading floor. That was my first day. You asked me, what is the definition of happiness? So I was like, oh my God, I made it. This is what success means to me on trading floor,
After a long time studying hard and getting the Cambridge and getting the dream, happy.
Yes. Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. And then I was in the credit department, credit trading department. So back then, there was a credit crisis. How did credit crisis happen? It was subprime. What was that? How did it happen? It was actually dishonesty from the financial industry, here and across the pond, everywhere. Greed, short-termism. It took me 10 years to really learn that industry, the happiness you see, the champagne overflowing in the city, the bonus,
like that, no?
and all of that, what does that really mean? That really, I spent years and years and years. I'm still spending years. This is one topic. So what does life even mean? What does happiness mean? And that triggered later on, and we come to that.
And what did you learn during these 10 years? So you started in a very significant, very meaningful day that, in fact, it kind of crushed your sense of starting something new and being excited. But then you managed to stay there for 10 years.
Yeah.
So what did you learn on these 10 years, apart from not everything is flowers?
I learned purpose is very important.
What did we talk? The first P? Purpose.
The purpose.
What happens when you don't have a purpose?
I think if I elaborated a bit my roles in banking, you could start understanding why that really triggered me. So I started with credit trading in the middle of the credit crisis. My final year in JP Morgan, I was in the chief investment office. I don't know whether you remember, there was a scandal called the London whale, really manipulated the market. I think we lost 6 billion in JP Morgan, and then they closed down the whole department. Nothing to do with me, of course. I was only doing making tea and photocopy as a graduate. But I was on the trading floor. This were the people I worked with. I actually liked my job because I felt it was very intellectually challenging. And then after 3 years, and then this happened, and I thought, okay, maybe it's time to take a step back. I was very lucky. I got a scholarship, so I could go back to Cambridge. I did a Master of Finance, took a year out, and I came back to banking. I joined Barclays. At Barclays, there is a department, back then it's called Structured Capital Market. What I did was, there was another scandal. Barclays, basically, we did all sorts of very clever structures, the trades and all that, avoided about £1 billion tax. It was a big scandal because someone leaked the deal annex to WikiLeaks. So that caused the CEO at the time, he got fired, Anthony Jenkins. And then I spent 3 years in the bank unwinding our trades, dealing with regulators. So I thought, this is the biggest bank in the UK. And then we're actually doing things with very clever people who went to Oxbridge, avoiding tax. And I was part of it. And I didn't actually think it was nothing wrong. I thought, wow, this is intellectual, really challenging. I love this. All of his numbers. Oh, wow, I can do this. And super smart. I can bypass all these rules and all that. And at the end of the day, what for? And today is very special for me as well. My daughter's here.
Where's your daughter?
She's right here.
Let's give her a hand. You are beautiful. You're beautiful.
And we talk about purpose. So after I gave birth to her, actually I stopped breastfeeding at 11 months and I started working. So we live in Germany usually. So Mondays I flew to City Airport. Thursdays I flew back to do this job. And I thought, why am I doing this? I have this beautiful little thing in Berlin during the week. When I was working in London, doing the very clever job, what? Earning money for the richest? I didn't get it. And I really started thinking,
so why
am I doing it?
Why some people wait so long to ask the question why?
Some people actually take all their life to think about it without doing a change.
They're still thinking about it.
They're still thinking about it.
So do you know people that are still thinking about it in
Tons.
that arena? So
Tons.
Why? How do you explain it?
Well,
how do you explain that they don't get crazy as us? Because we have a room full of entrepreneurs here.
There you go.
And we take responsibilities to get the job done. If we do it right, it's our credit. If we do it wrong, it's our credit. We don't blame in others. We don't play the victim. We just move on and make things done. But sometimes the other side of the world, they see us like, what are they doing? What does it mean? You're a coach, you're a trainer, you're a consultant, you run a business, a fintech, or whatever we do. Sometimes I say we have women who have jewelries or who have sausages companies, or we have gas and oil, or who have health and fitness, mental health. We just go and do it. Now, how can we raise awareness that instead of playing the victim and saying, I can't do anything, I can't change anything, I better stay where I am, at least I have some food in the table. How can we awaken people that they have choices, they have the power to make choices?
You talk about the victim's mindset. That's something so common. You open the news every day, we see chaos. You can complain about literally anything, the weather, oh, well, where's the summer, right? But the opposite of the victim's mindset is something I call the creator's mindset. Anyone's heard of that?
Yeah, we talk about it.
Amazing. Yeah. That is something really kept me going.
Purpose and creativity, they were two big topics this morning.
The creator's mindset, actually the definition for it is that you think so, at any point in time, in any circumstances, what can I do to make a difference? What can I do? Not how others, you can't change Trump. You can't change Elon Musk. You can't. But you can change yourself. Yeah. You can't change the weather. You can show your smile. That is the creator's mindset. So since when I was 16, that is something that has always been something kept me going. Yes, I don't speak English. I didn't speak English. But I have my dictionary. I can look up the whole page in that textbook, and guess what? In half a year's time, I didn't need my dictionary anymore. And then
You're reminding me when I was doing my first master's, I was opening the dictionary for every single page at least 50 times. I didn't understand a word. So I completely get you. How many of you, again, have had in a position where you're feeling like English is stopping me? And there are still so many people out there because they feel like they have excuses, English or family or money or support.
Yeah.
Do you think these are real obstacles, or we can find the way to overcome these?
They're really not real obstacles. Celebrate every little win you have. Tell you what, when I got to this country, I love listening to the TED Talks. I listen to TED Talks as a way of learning English. 3 years ago, someone from TED came to me and said, would you like to give a TEDx talk? I thought, hell yes. And
now you have studied it, how it works.
I told him, I said, I watched all the TED Talks to learn English when I was 16. And now you're asking me to give a TED Talk? Hell yes, I'm doing it. So the topic of my TEDx talk, you can check it out. It's called The Power of the Leap of Faith. To me, I thought if I put in like a formula, there are several elements. One is be curious. Be curious that what you can do, what you know in your personal life, in your professional life, how can you leverage that to make a change? No matter how small that change is. Once you can find that point, everyone, you have it in you, something very unique you can do. Other people cannot do as good as you. Everyone has that. Find that. Once you find that, this comes to the next one. Be courageous. This is super important. I know this is what Global Woman is all about, right? And you have this courageous, this is the second element. Everyone knows that. But we all think we all know that. Actually, no. People don't do it. The third element, though, once you say you be courageous, you gotta be obsessed. Obsession is a good thing. Why is that? You know the normal distribution? The normal distribution is just on the top because most people are just normal people. If you want to be beyond that, what does extraordinary mean is beyond ordinary. This is when you do more, be obsessed so you can be better.
At some point of our journey, we all are obsessed with something. Maybe when you're younger, we're obsessed with a different thing, and then we change, we get obsessed with another thing. The whole point is to choose to be obsessed on something that is in our advantage.
Yes.
To be obsessed on something that brings us creativity,
Yes.
productivity, and it's creating something of value.
Yes.
And what I like on you is because sometimes I ask the question, raise your hand, I'm asking again, if you think knowledge has power. Yes? Okay. So what if I told you not really? How many people you know that they have great knowledge but they are powerless?
Oh, I love that.
Right? I mean, sometimes they come from Cambridge and Oxford and top universities. But what I really I am loving here is like you have turned your knowledge in power. How? Because you execute it. You apply it. You dare. You're a courageous woman. So you didn't go to Cambridge just to show your diploma. You went to Cambridge to show that you can benefit from everything that goes through taking the diploma. So how do you think Cambridge diploma has helped you?
It's actually funny. I went to Cambridge for the brand.
Okay.
I'm Chinese. I really can't deny that.
Of course.
Like it's all about the brand. I told you my parents gave me all their savings, right? Is there ROI? Is there return on investment? Say, okay, I have to get the biggest brand so my parents can be proud.
Aww.
Cambridge is one, JP Morgan, Barclays, Mizuho. I was like shopping brands.
That's great. I like that. Yes.
And can I tell you the truth? The truth is, I never really enjoyed anything I learned in Cambridge. However, the brand, I'm telling you, it really opened doors. And what I learned, actually, the most thing I learned is it wasn't the diploma. It was actually, there was curiosity. that's why I put curiosity as the first element in my formula. It taught me curiosity. In there, I really met the most curious people.
This is what what about people that you met there?
People. It's all about people.
Because they're all like you, that they are looking for that brand.
And also, I think it's your personal self, what is in you. I didn't have to go to Cambridge to be curious. I could be anywhere. You don't even need to go to university to be curious. You don't have to really. You didn't know. You didn't need any of the brands.
Lesley, you're reminding me. There is a guru in our industry called Grant Cardone.
Yes,
I
really like.
Yeah, I was listening because I had the chance to share the stage with him quite a few times.
Amazing.
And meet his wife and him many times. And when I interviewed him, he said something very powerful that it stays with me. Because I asked him, so would you, because he talks about, they homeschool their children. I said, what about university? Are you going to encourage your children to go to university? And you know what he said? He said, absolutely, at the top universities of the world, but not because what they are going to learn there. I want them to hang around with Obamas, with Bushes. So these top people of the world who have the curiosity and the courage and the guts to go and aim the best of the best, that means that they are the kind of people that we want our children to hang around. So it's not just about learning. It's not just about just the branding. It's about the people that you meet in that circle. So who are the people? Is it really a real phenomenon here that you meet the top people, the right people? Has it been a value for you?
At the beginning, maybe, but now I'm reflecting back. You know, I collect all these brands, like JP Morgan and all that. If I reflected back, I didn't want to stay there for so long. I stayed in banking for 11 years. It could have been enough for 5 years. And then I would seek elsewhere for building a purpose. One thing I really felt is the elitism is something that I have a problem with. It's something that, okay, you're in the circle, but that is the 0.000% of the people in the whole society. It's very much detached. So when I was in banking, banking loved hiring Oxbridge graduates.
Yeah.
And look, they caused the financial crisis. Why is that they're so detached on what is needed, what is not being served in the society?
Right.
And then it's also a really big ignorance on people. This is why all of that thinking is building into my startup now.
Yeah. Now tell us. Now you tried everything. You shopped all the big brands, and then you decided, you know what? I'm going to create my own brand.
Yes.
Impact. How did it come?
One thing I really, really didn't like is this asymmetry, information asymmetry of the banking world. What I mean was that, look, the financial crisis, it all happened because the bankers know something and knew something normal people didn't know. A lot of that is still happening because they needed this asymmetry to create abnormal profit so they can have higher margins. That's something I thought, oh my God, this majority of the society is not benefiting that. It's only the people have enough money to gain financial advice or have this kind of information, access to the bankers. I really didn't like that. I really believe inclusivity is something so important. Me as a lady of color, when I was in banking, there really weren't many ladies around. Especially as you went more and more senior, there was just not much around. Especially a lady of color, you just saw no one. And then if my startup, so in short, we help like financial institutions to help the people who are underserved to get started with investing. We're talking about women. We are talking about younger generation. We are talking about sustainability-focused people. As a fintech, we need traction. If you talk to the bank, say, I'm here to help you to do the right thing.
They'll say, we do the right thing.
Yes.
We don't need you.
There is no money. Yeah. So you have to create this story that ultimately serve the bigger purpose, but you do it smartly. That is something I learned the hard way.
It's exactly the same what we learn here.
Yeah.
It's like if you really want to go to the top of the point,
Yeah.
you need to create the right hook and the
The right
narrative about. So bring them in and give them the time, take them in the journey. So
Yes.
how did the Global Women Club started? Is me working as a trainer, running workshops for women who suffered domestic abuse. And my goal was I want to help women end the abuse. Now, of course, I had a target. I was in 3 months probation, and I had a target to run 4 workshops for each per week, and each workshop should have 20 women minimum. So I go out there, and when I advertise, we are helping women to end the abuse, 1 person, 2 people, sometimes nobody would show up. So I had to go back and reflect, how do I turn this around? Now I started changing the hook. We help women build confidence. We are running a workshop about money. We're running a workshop about marketing. We're running a workshop about self-esteem, self-confidence, and the workshop started filling up. But when they come in, I teach everything about what I wanted to teach in the first instance. But you cannot say, I'm attracting this kind of people. You always, if you want to reach people, you have to allow them time and space to be able to walk with you on that journey. So you reminded me this, and the team is reminding me that the time is off. But before we go, what is your mission with your You Impact? And what is the message for the people in this room, people who listen to this podcast, and where do they find you?
Before we go off, one last story. So on the 7th of April, I almost died on that day. So it's just over 3 months ago. I woke up one morning, my lung collapsed, just like that. And then I was in A&E. My daughter knows the story. And then I wasn't able to move. So I was literally stuck in the hospital for 3 weeks, not able to move. So I'm jumping around now. I'm actually still recovering. I call that blessing in disguise. It really taught me a lot. So yes, I came from a banking background. Yes, I run a startup. But I feel that is something that it has to connect deeper down. Change my perspective on everything. So you don't have to go through the near-death experience to understand that, right? It's really about like you reach down to your heart and you think what matters to you. What happens if you wake up, you don't wake up tomorrow morning? Are you happy with what you're doing? Honestly, I didn't know. You know what? Everyone says so. Oh, you could be dead tomorrow. So I don't know. Yeah, not me. Somebody else. Until that happened to you. So that really comes back. I say, okay, it's about combining. So in my case, it's combining the tech with science and the heart. The heart is the biggest thing. It's really about also combining.
Heart is in everything.
Yes, combining my personal side. Really combine that with the professional side. Because that's the whole me. Find your own oneness. It's not a division. When you find your oneness, your purpose in all you do, personally, professionally, then you'll be happy. And then just now, the formula, who remember the formula? Curiosity, be courageous, yes, and then be obsessed. The fourth one, be persistent. Don't give up. You only fail when you give up. You never fail. You either learn, or you win.
Well, I have one on this to close it. Sometimes you earn and sometimes you learn.
There you go.
So both are excellent. But in the Global Women Club, we have a better one. We learn, we earn, and we return.
Amazing.
So Lesley Lee, thank you so much.